The Merchant's Tale is set in Pavia, a town in Lombardy, and it is about a knight who is well known and respectable and a respectable personality in the society. He has lived in that town as a wealthy man, and he has lived in opulence for 60 years and has remained a bachelor ever since. He has been into women to please his appetite or sexual gratification like the worldly people do. But on his 60th birthday, there is a sudden urge maybe to start living a holy life or for him to quit bachelorhood that pushes him to decide to become a married man. He is full of anxiety on where and how he would get a bride for himself. He prays to God that he might not be refused or rebuffed by young women and wishes to have a happy life or union and experience that happiness which exists in matrimony. He wants to live in a holy union full of care as God had ordained it. He thinks that there is no other life worth living because marriage is paradise on earth. For him, wedlock is so easy to be into, but God is most pleased when men get married because matrimony is glorious. In addition, matrimony is sweeter when the man is matured and responsible. The woman he gets married to will enjoy his wealth, and it will give him honor. Therefore, the knight decides to take a young and beautiful maid with whom he can have an heir. He is ready to cut off from bachelorhood to go to the life of happiness. Bachelors to him sometimes lament and are miserable because of some hurdles in love. He believes that bachelors should pay the price of being miserable because their love is fragile, yet they want a permanent relationship or happiness. They take love for pleasure. They have no restraint and lack discipline. But to married men, matrimony gives them social status and they enjoy happiness that is orderly, respectful, and their wives are submissive to them in matrimony. In addition, love grows from the heart. The married woman becomes obedient, faithful, and takes care of the man in health and when he is sick more than his friends or family relatives. When the man is in pains or sick, she takes care of him and his property out of service and love, as a dutiful wife ought to. She never gets tired even if the man is bedridden, to take care of him until he dies. Nevertheless, some writers think marriage is not as glorious as society portrays it. According to Theophrastus, a man takes a wife to spend on her and not to economize, because a faithful servant can take good care of the man's possession than his wife. In addition, she will claim half of what the man has worked for if the man falls sick. His friends and servants may take good care of him than his wife, as she is only interested in the man's possession after he dies. Lastly, he claims that all women are unfaithful. This fellow has other different opinions about societal issues, and for writing such opinions about marriage, God had laid a curse on him. The narrator wants the listener not to listen to such opinions about women and listen to his story carefully. A wife is a perfect gift from God. Unlike other gifts which are God's blessings of fortune, such as land, goods, pasture, prosperity. In addition, if a woman lives longer, she will be able to prolong her husband's life. Marriage is a sacrament which is holy. While bachelorhood is full of misery and remorseful, in matrimony, one finds unending happiness, and this applies only to those who are not in church. Marriage itself guarantees personal happiness. To prove his point, he says, woman was made as a man's companion after creation. After the creation of Adam, God realized that he was lonely and naked. For that reason, God decided to give Adam a helpmate. In Adam's likeness, therefore, Eve is a product from Adam. Consequently, a wife is a man's helper and his place of refuge, his paradise on earth, and his place of endless pleasure. In the union, they will abide in peace because a woman naturally is virtuous and easy to yield or understand her husband. They will become one flesh, one heart, and one in purpose in order to live happily. A wife is a blessing, and her presence never allows her husband to be afflicted. This is evident especially if there is unity among them, that no tongue can judge or curse them. She is submissive and helps her poor husband to come to limelight, have fortune. She can also guard her husband's property and also help him to economize by checking on his excesses. The woman tends to love everything that her husband prefers, and she is submissive to ensure a blissful state in their matrimony. There is no cruelty between them, but only goodness and happiness in their home. Consequently, the merchant advises that if men are lucky to have such wives, they should thank God all their lives. In addition, they should pray that God should give them a wife who will stay by them till the end. A man who has such a good wife can never be tricked, if only he listens to his wife's advice. Jacob got blessings from his father by following the advice of his mother. Judith got blessings to save God's people. Abigail used her good advice to save her husband from death. Esther's wisdom brought relief to God's people and led to the promotion of Mordecai. In effect, this part of the story focuses on the good aspects of women.